Continuing from the previous episode 995. This is solved. Xiao Yan just saw his elder brother returning to the gap, and couldn't help saying in a surprised tone. Yep, with the formation technique Zhu Lao gave me, I temporarily imprisoned this guy. Xiao Yan said slightly. Hey, Zhu Jin, it seems that you are right this time. This Xiao Yan seems to be on a par with Yin Yin Tong. And Yan Kai looked at it in his heart. Naturally, the three of them had a panoramic view, so the thunder method gave Yan Kai a lot of shock. Since the wild wave jade blood crocodile has been temporarily imprisoned, then we enter the pool, Yanqi said. The blood river pond contains extremely powerful forces. The further down you go, the greater the pressure. You should do what you can. As for the mystery, you will know when you go down separately. Yan Kai said, I don't have to go, do I? I will protect the law for you? Xiao Yi, who was beside him, laughed, apparently not having much interest in the blood river pond below. Go down for me. As soon as Xiao Yi's voice fell, Yanqi was immediately carried by one hand and threw it directly below. Old Yanqi, you! Xiao Yi couldn't move her strength, and was thrown down by Yanqi, causing waves of waves. Blood river pond has indescribable benefits for you. Also, the dead blood ghost liquid can be swallowed after entering the blood river pond, and it can also achieve twice the result with half the effort. Let's go. After Yan Kai finished speaking, he swept away directly below. Xiao Yan, thank you. At this moment, Mu Yingying said something to Xiao Yan, and then without hesitation, she directly swept towards the blood river pond below. Mu Yingying knew that her brother Yan Kai desperately needed this blood river pond to heal the dark disease in her body, and if Xiao Yan hadn't dealt with the guardian, she would have lost a lot of effort. This girl. Xiao Yan helplessly watched the three of them pour into the blood river pond, smiled slightly, and then without hesitation, placed a tyrannical soul seal on the huge gap, directly facing the blood river pond below. Swept away. And below the gap, the huge formation above the blood river pond, the trembling figure of the wild wave jade blood crocodile. It can be seen that if you want to break free from this bondage, it will obviously take a lot of time. CCC. Xiao Yan's body just entered the blood river pool, and suddenly bursts of refreshing cold suddenly came from the pool water. Icy pool water. Xiao Yan couldn't help shivering. After swallowing the dead blood ghost liquid, go down and see, what is under this blood river pool calling me vaguely. Xiao Yan's eyes became deep, as if in the dark. This blood river pool is the most at the bottom, a call came. Shabu Shabu. With a plan in his mind, Xiao Yan didn't dare to hesitate. He directly used the power of holy flame to wrap his body, and then continued to descend. In the blood river pond, the pressure increases as you go down, but the increase in yourself is also enormous. It's such a powerful pressure. Every time he dropped some distance, Xiao Yan felt a burst of pain coming from his body, but for this reason, Xiao Yan also found that every time the blood-red water came into contact with him, the body will transmit a trace of extremely mysterious power into his body. And with the increase of that power, the fighting qi in Xiao Yan's body is also slowly improving. Just here, first absorb some of the power of the blood river pond, and then devour the dead blood ghost liquid. Xiao Yan was calm, then closed his eyes and concentrated on absorbing the power. And Xiao Yi and Mu Yingying are just like Xiao Yan, but that Yan Kai is heading towards the bottom of the blood river pond. Then what exactly is down there? When Xiao Yan and the four entered the blood river pond, the blood river also underwent earth-shaking changes. Damn it! What on earth is the Xuanling royal family doing? Aren't you afraid of causing a war between the super sects when you openly attack other super sects? On a rock, two vague figures spoke slowly. These two are naturally the two people from the puppet mansion, Hua Lexin from the early stage of the 7-star Doudi and Hua Feng, the senior brother Hua Feng who is a complete and powerful master of the 7-star Doudi. Junior brother, don't be impatient. After all, this is a river of blood, and life and death matter. And I always feel that this time the Xuanling royal family seems to be very wrong. Hua Feng, the senior elder brother, said slightly. Senior brother? What do you say? Hua Lexin couldn't help asking. A few days ago, the 3-day Xuanling royal family fought hard against the disciples of Wanjiamen, and even Jianxin was defeated. Wanjiamen is known as the head of our Xuanxin super sect, and the strength of Jianxin is even more unfathomable. Such a ruthless person will suffer under the Xuanling royal family. I'm afraid the Xuanling royal family is playing a big game. At this time, Hua Feng said slightly. Elder brother, what should we do now? Hua Lexin became puzzled after hearing this. Among the disciples who participated in the sect competition last time, the other senior brothers have already retreated, so this time, among the strong, only I, the 7-star Do Emperor, was successful, so I couldn't have a head-on conflict with the Xuanling royal family. First, go to join the team of our puppet mansion. The final place of Holy Flame, where I believe, will determine the real outcome. Moreover, with such a bad relationship between the Burning Incense Pavilion and the Xuanling royal family, I am afraid that the two are the biggest variables in this sect competition. Hua Feng said. Everything is according to what the senior brother said. Hua Lexin nodded after hearing this. After all, there is no good way at this time. Although those who participated in the previous sect competition can also participate in this time, many of the former outstanding disciples of the sect are in retreat. After the two finished speaking, they went directly to the periphery of the Blood River, and a series of changes were also taking place in other places. Are you all right? Seeing this, several people in the ancient desolate palace asked slowly. Brother Feng Hong this time, thank you very much. Seeing that he had escaped from the 3-day pursuit of the Xuanling royal family, Song Yu protected Hongqin, clenched his fists and smiled at Feng Hong. It's just a matter of raising your hands. If you want to thank our senior brother. Feng Hong said with a smile. Feng Lin, aren't you retreating? Why? Jian Xin on the side held back the injury in his body and said to the head of the 3 people in the ancient desolate hall in front of him. Just after I left the customs, I met the sect and the competition began, and I was sent by the master to lead the team. Feng Lin, the burly body of the elder brother of the ancient desolate temple, said with a slight smile. Jianxin, how could you? After Feng Lin finished laughing, his expression suddenly became solemn, and he said immediately. We were defeated by the Xuanling royal family. Although Jianxin didn't want to admit it, he said helplessly. Is he really that strong? Feng Lin looked into the distance and said lightly. It's very strong. In the previous sect competition, I was able to beat him, but after so many years, I don't know what adventure he encountered. His strength was close to the early stage of the 8-star Doudi, and he survived the death catastrophe. Jianxin said in a deep voice. It even seems that there is something extremely hidden in his body. That thing, every time I fight him, it will send me an inexplicable irritability. Finally, Kenshin spoke up. And with Jianxin's voice, everyone's heart sank, obviously thinking about countermeasures. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 996. Shabu Shabu. It's such a pure power. A few days passed in a blink of an eye. Xiao Yan had been immersed in the Blood River Pond for a few days, and every once in a while, after getting used to the strange power of the Blood River Pond, he would rely on the holy flame strength, constantly decreasing. And every time it dropped, it would bring huge pressure to Xiao Yan. With this pressure, Xiao Yan's body tyranny ability was also slowly changing. Hoo-hoo! Xiao Yan gently opened his eyes, spit out a few invisible breaths, and through the absorption of the mysterious power in the Blood River pool these days, Xiao Yan has made a vague step towards the middle stage of the 7-star Do Emperor. Phew! You must know that the energy required for each level in Doudi is extremely huge. In just a few days, Xiao Yan's body is filled with a lot, which is enough to see the mystery of this Blood River pool. Almost. It's time to take the dead blood ghost liquid. Xiao Yan said slowly, then flipped his palm, and a bead surrounded by strange ghost energy appeared in his hand. I don't know why, when this dead blood ghost liquid just appeared, its outermost ghost chi and the ghost chi in the Blood River pool actually resonated, but Xiao Yan smelled something from the dead blood ghost liquid. The power of death that only a strong 8-star Doudi can possess. I don't know if we can make further breakthroughs with the dead blood ghost liquid and the Blood River Pond. Currently, the strength of the 7-star Do Emperor in the early stage is enough to deal with other powerhouses. Although there are many means, in the final analysis, his own strength is still too weak. And in the final battle of the Holy Flame, the 3-day congregation of the Xuanling royal family is indispensable. Among the 3-day congregation of the Xuanling royal family, one half stepped into the 8-star Do Emperor, and the other was a genuine 8-star Do Emperor early stage. Xiao Yan's eyes became deeper, and a firm expression came out. Etc. Speaking of which, How do you use this thing? Swallow it directly? The next moment, Xiao Yan shifted his gaze to the dead blood ghost liquid in his hand, but fell into a daze. Obviously, although an alchemist knew the value of this thing, Xiao Yan didn't know how to use it. If you want to die, just swallow it. Just when Xiao Yan was puzzled, a gloomy voice slowly echoed in Xiao Yan's mind. Soul Eater Talisman? Xiao Yan was overjoyed. Senior, how do I use this thing? Although Xiao Yan didn't know what kind of existence exists in the Soul Eater Talisman, but being able to bargain with his uncle, it was enough to see that the guy inside was also a powerful man. Dead blood ghost liquid. This is something that gives birth to the power of death in your body. Your current strength is only in the early stage of the 7-star Do Emperor. If you swallow it like this, I'm afraid that if you let you have the holy flame, you will explode and die in an instant. A voice came from the soul-eating talisman. It's really dangerous. Xiao Yan couldn't help but rejoice when he heard this. If you want to absorb this thing to the greatest extent, you must fight poison with poison, said Soul Eater. Tackling poison with poison? Xiao Yan was surprised when he heard this. Could it be? After a while, Xiao Yan's eyes kept rolling, obviously thinking of something. Dead blood ghost liquid. Blood river pond. Is that really the case? Xiao Yan laughed while overjoyed. Ruzi can be taught. Yes, it is with the help of the power of the blood river pond to weaken the dead blood ghost liquid, so that it can be absorbed by you smoothly. The blood river pond is formed by the ghost chi and the blood of your strong human beings plus some special climate, which contains the monstrous ghost chi that can greatly weaken the ghost chi, so that you can absorb the most essence of the dead blood ghost fluid. Pure power. If there is no blood river pond, I am afraid that ordinary people will not be able to absorb the dead blood ghost liquid smoothly. After all, the ghost energy contained in it is too huge. In that case, let's start. Xiao Yan said with a smile. Be careful when you swallow it for a while. I always feel that there seems to be something unclean in this river of blood, said Soul Eater. Unclean things? Xiao Yan was just about to start, but when he heard the words, he became puzzled. Since the Soul Eater talisman is a thing in the ghost world, this unclean thing is definitely not a ghost or a human breath. The aura here is a bit like the left Gorfiend you killed in the desert mountains before, but the aura here is much stronger than that left Gorfiend, said Soul Eater. More powerful than the left envoy of the Gorfiend? Xiao Yan frowned. The powerful Xiao Yan of the left envoy of the Gorfiend is still vivid in his mind. If it weren't for Shen Yan and the seniors, I'm afraid that the last time he went to the desert mountain range, Xiao Yan would have died and not lived. And the strength of the left envoy of the Gorfiend has also reached the level of the pinnacle of human fighting emperors. If the things here are stronger than death, then maybe. Do Xian? For the current Xiao Yan, a powerhouse at the level of Do Xian is a disaster. You devour it first, and after you have devoured it, you still need to go down to the bottom of this pool with me. After the master of Soul Eater finished speaking, he went silent without a sound. Is something unclean? Xiao Yan muttered to himself, adding the evil power of the 4 heavenly stars of the Xuanling royal family. He couldn't help but think of something. Forget it. Let's talk about it after swallowing the dead blood ghost liquid. He temporarily suppressed the doubts in his heart and said, Dead blood ghost liquid? I hope you don't let me down. Xiao Yan said instantly to the dead blood ghost liquid in his hands, and then closed his eyes directly. Whoa. A huge amount of soul power erupted directly from his body, and then this always quiet blood river pool suddenly became restless, and incomparably dazzling ghost energy gathered in the direction of Xiao Yan. And with the appearance of such a huge ghost chi, the ghost chi on the dead blood ghost liquid beads disappeared rapidly. It's really useful. Seeing this, Xiao Yan was instantly overjoyed. It seemed that the senior in this Soul Eater talisman really didn't deceive him. As soon as he finished speaking, he immediately mobilized the ghost chi in the blood river pool, because Xiao Yan knew that if he wanted to devour dead blood ghost liquid, he could only devour the outermost layer of ghost chi after he had melted it, otherwise he would go into flames. Very clever little guy. And Yan Kai, who was not far below Xiao Yan, also slowly opened his eyes at this time. Since they have all started to devour, then I can only give up the following things. It's better to heal the dark disease in your body as soon as possible. But it's strange. In the depths of the blood river, something seems to be calling me. Yan Kai murmured, but the most easily overlooked part of his back was a very eerie bloodstain looming. Sure enough, and Mu Yingying in the distance felt the sudden turmoil from the blood river pond, and immediately knew the strangeness of this dead blood ghost liquid, so she found a way to solve it. As for Xiao Yi, it was a pleasant surprise to discover that he kept absorbing the mysterious power in the blood river pond, and actually made his strength advance slowly. Pull up to load the next chapter S2. Continuing from the previous episode 997. Finally okay? Xiao Yan stared at the dead blood ghost liquid in his hand, and couldn't help but burst into ecstasy in his pupils. A day passed, and the black and white dead blood ghost liquid beads also revealed their original appearance. The original dead blood ghost liquid was surrounded by a circle of extremely dark ghost chi. Through this strange ghost chi, the asterisk inside was completely blocked. However, as Xiao Yan mobilized the ghosts in the blood river pool, chi entered the dead blood ghost liquid, and suddenly the outermost ghost gas was like a deflated balloon, rapidly dissolving. This is the real dead blood ghost liquid, Xiao Yan said excitedly while holding the whole body Angelica bead in his palm. At this time, circles of dazzling power continued to emerge from Baiji's beads. This power made Xiao Yan couldn't help but be amazed. The power of death, success and failure, right now. Come on, Xiao Yan said with a free and easy smile. As soon as he finished speaking, his palm lifted slightly, and the whole body Angelica bead was pushed directly into his mouth by Xiao Yan. Wang buzzing, Baiji's dead blood ghost liquid just poured into Xiao Yan's mouth, and suddenly an almost crazy force suddenly burst out. That feeling made Xiao Yan feel like he was facing a great enemy, and he couldn't help shaking his body. Since it entered my mouth, where is the reason for you to run away? Xiao Yan, the strong man, endured the dead blood ghost liquid and burst out extremely tyrannical resistance, said. And as Xiao Yan's thoughts just fell, suddenly Xiao Yan's body, the immortal body, was released, and the whole body showed a golden light. The earthy yellow holy flame wrapped the whole body, plus the huge soul power and spiritual power, in the four under the common pressure of Xiao Yan. That asterisk ghost liquid was extremely unwilling to be suppressed by Xiao Yan. Guru. With a sound, Xiao swallowed the blood of the dead blood. And as Baizi dead blood ghost liquid entered the body, all the limbs and bones in Xiao Yan's body seemed to be opened, and a steady stream of huge power suddenly burst out. Wang buzzing, and the white-colored dead blood ghost liquid seemed to know that he was being swallowed and refined by Xiao Yan, and resisted frantically, trying to break free, but Xiao Yan had so many methods to allow the dead blood ghost liquid to escape. Powerful, and without a trace of vitality. Hoo! A trace of Baizi's power continued to emerge from Xiao Yan's limbs and bones, and Xiao Yan suddenly felt that the power of life hidden in his body that was never invoked by himself was actually going crazy at this moment. And Xiao Yan's fiery beast, who had been sleeping in the Doudi Sea, also slowly opened its pupils and watched vigilantly at the white energy containing the power of death pouring into the Doudi Sea. This guy seems to be the one who sensed the power of death is not good. Xiao Yan also said quite amusingly. For some reason, the Doudi and his Doudi Sea turned into a fiery beast, but facing this kind of fiery beast, Xiao Yan had only a limited understanding of it, and there was no way to take it. Roar! In the Doudi Sea, the sealed Duhe stood silently beside him, and Sheng Yanjing also lay silently beside him. Only this fiery beast with more than 23 kinds of flames all over his body, facing Baizi's power, he roared slowly, and from that voice, it could be seen that there was a bit of hatred. Little guy, this is the power of death. I must join my fighting spirit in order to be born with the power of death. Now that you have eaten all the Doudi in my body, this thing can only be eaten by you. Xiao Yan thought about it and thought that the flame beast ate the Doudi in the Doudi Sea, so he said, Ho. Seemingly feeling Xiao Yan's intention, the flaming beast roared a few times in the depths of Xiao Yan's mind, as if to say, this thing is too unpalatable, I won't eat it. You're a picky eater? Xiao Yan was anxious. If this flaming beast didn't devour Baiji's power of death, then what he had done these few days would probably be a waste of effort. Stop talking nonsense. Give it to me, Xiao Yan roared when he saw that he was too soft, raising his voice a few bells. Ho. The flame beast felt Xiao Yan's anger, and immediately roared a few times in resistance, seeing that Xiao Yan had no intention of repenting, and then did not dare to disobey Xiao Yan, and was extremely reluctant. When he walked to the side of the white death force, he looked like he had no love for life. Speaking of which, the power of death is really strange. The normal power of life is white, but the power of death is black. Why is the pure power of death in this *** ghost liquid actually white? Could it be because the ghost world is prosperous here? Xiaoyan asked suspiciously. Hey, this little guy is interesting. The human battle Qi has formed the heaven and earth spiritual things, and this guy's battle Qi may have existed as many as dozens of heaven and earth strange things. I remember this situation. There aren't many people in the entire world, right? In the future, if this flaming beast can be completely transformed into a human figure when it breaks through to Do Xian, I am afraid that those guys will stand at the peak of this world in the future. And the Master of Soul Eater felt the situation of the flaming beast in Xiaoyan's body. Smiled slightly. It's just that Xiaoyan didn't know. If he knew, let alone dozens of wonders of heaven and earth, there were 22 different fires on the Doqi continent just by talking about them, thus forming Emperor Yan, not to mention other wonders of heaven and earth. Thing. Why are you standing still? Eat it! Xiaoyan couldn't help roaring as he felt the fiery beast in the Doqi Sea with a lifeless look standing motionless next to the white force of death. Damn, I finally got the dead blood ghost liquid, and finally got rid of the ghost in it. You still dislike it? You don't know that putting this thing outside will provoke the jealousy of countless powerhouses. Xiaoyan was directly scolded by the flames. Gula Gulu, the flame beast seemed to be extremely spiritual. After being roared one after another by Xiaoyan, he didn't dare to stop. For fear of what Xiaoyan would do to it, he raised his fluffy little palm gently and faced each other in the air. Go away with that white force of death. The power of death of the four gods and no masters of Baiji was called out by the flaming beast and swept away directly into the body of the flaming beast. Shabu! In just a few breaths, the power of death of Baiji was swallowed by the beast of flames. The flame beast was surrounded by 23 kinds of flames, and with the influx of the power of death, it did not cause any situation. The only difference was that after devouring the energy of the power of death, it seemed that the flame beast was hungry. And shrunk a bit. After the flame beast swallowed the power of death, Xiaoyan felt that a strange black power slowly emerged from his body. This is the power of death. But Xiaoyan was unmoved, even laughed, and said immediately, the 7-star Do Emperor is in the middle stage. But he wasn't ready to be happy. The sudden breakthrough was also due to the power of death, and the promotion was a natural progression. Continuing from the previous episode 998. The 7-star Do Emperor is in the middle stage. Xiaoyan couldn't help laughing as he felt the power in his body to break through because he swallowed the power of death. According to Xiaoyan's guess, although his current strength is only in the middle stage of the 7-star Do Emperor, he can fight against some of the 7-star Do Emperor perfection-level powerhouses without using the means of pressing the bottom of the box. Moreover, even in the face of the 8-star Do Emperor powerhouse, he is not afraid, because now Xiaoyan has the power of death born in his body. But among the powerhouses of the 7-star Doudi, with the combination of life and death, I am afraid that Xiaoyan can remain invincible. Don't be too happy too soon. Your vindictiveness that disappeared in a strange way was indeed eaten away by the beasts of flames. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I can't tell now. When Xiaoyan was complacent, a burst of cold water was poured over from the Soul Eater talisman. Senior, do you know? Xiaoyan was overjoyed when he heard this. I know some, Soul Eater said lightly. That flaming beast, what exactly is it? Xiaoyan hurriedly asked when he knew the Soul Eater talisman, and if his fighting spirit was really eaten up by the flaming beast, how could this flaming beast be born in his body? Various questions plagued Xiaoyan, and Xiaoyan could only ask for help. The flames of up to 23 colors in your body are some wonders of the world, right? After a while, the Soul Eater spoke directly. Yes. Xiaoyan was shocked when he heard the words, and then explained the strange fire directly to the Soul Eater talisman. I see. According to what you said, this flaming beast should be a fusion of 23 kinds of different fires. Soul Eater hearing this, he looked confident. What? Xiaoyan couldn't help being surprised when he heard this. I remember that in the Fire Elves, there was an almighty in ancient times. The Great Master uses fire as the source, and it is said that he came from a lower plane like you. With his strange cultivation technique, he searched for the holy flame to swallow him along the way. In just a few hundred years, he was among the peaks of the great thousand world. I was very weak at that time, but I was fortunate to have a relationship with him. The breath in your body seems to have a taste of him. Soul Eater seemed to remember something, and said slowly, the fire spirit, the strange technique, devours the holy flame. Could it be? And after Xiao Yan finished listening to the Soul Eater talisman, a bold guess appeared in his mind. He has an unknown name. Emperor Tuash. The soul-devouring talisman blurted out with great respect. What? When Xiao Yan heard the words, he was shocked. This name was too familiar to him. Moreover, it can make the Soul Eater talisman, who has always had a high hand and a low eye, be so respected, which shows the terrifying strength of the ancient Emperor Tuash. Although I don't know why the flaming beast in your body came into being, but I think the aura on this flaming beast is very similar to Witch Almighty, so I think there may be some connection between the two. Of course, whether this kind of connection is good or bad, and what kind of connection it is, you still need to find it yourself. Soul Eater said slowly. Obviously that was all the information he could give Xiao Yan. If that's the case, I'm afraid this flaming beast is the descendant of the ancient Emperor Tuash? Xiao Yan was confused for a while and couldn't help but say. So, Xiao Yi and the flaming beast are both descendants of the ancient Emperor Tuash? Suddenly, Xiao Yan seemed to realize something, and immediately said. Hey, I don't know about that, but that Xiao Yi is a real fire elf now, and she also has a reincarnation seal in her body. I'm afraid it's very possible. Soul Eater said with a smile. It's really troublesome. Xiao Yan helplessly pouted and said. The soldiers will block the water and cover the soil. Let's take a step by step. Xiao Yan knew that this was not the time to discuss this, so he immediately suppressed his curiosity about Xiao Yi and the flame beast, and said slowly. Since you've absorbed the blood of the dead blood, it's time to go down with me to have a look. Under this, there are good things. Soul Eater said greedily. I also feel that something is calling me from below, and every time I use my soul power, that call is even stronger. What the asterisk is going on here? Xiao Yan finished speaking, directly using the holy flame to isolate him. Look below the blood river pond. At a glance, the extremely scarlet pool water gave Xiao Yan a feeling of a vast abyss. Go down and have a look. Don't worry, there is me. After a while, the Soul Eater said directly. Okay. Hearing this, Xiao Yan agreed immediately. This is a place where ghosts are arrogant, but he has a soul-devouring talisman, so he is naturally not afraid, and Xiao Yan is extremely curious about what is underneath. Crash! The dazzling khaki-yellow holy flame directly wrapped Xiao Yan's entire body, and then descended continuously with the help of the impact of his soul power. Every few tens of meters down, Xiao Yan suddenly felt that the eerie ghostly aura in the water of the blood river pond became more heartwarming. It's such a weird ghost. Xiao Yan couldn't help saying when he saw that the water around him had turned from scarlet to pitch black. How, little devil, are you afraid? The Soul Eater talisman had been entrenched in front of Xiao Yan, feeling that Xiao Yan suddenly stopped moving, and then spoke slowly. No, I just think that the top of this blood river pond is scarlet. How can there be such a strong ghostly aura underneath? Xiao Yan shook his head and said, Hey, what is this? At the peak of this master, ghosts are released, not to mention this little blood river, even your Xuanling continent will be wiped out in an instant. A proud voice came from the soul-devouring talisman. Let's go, it should be almost there. Xiao Yan heard the words, rolled his eyes with a soul-devouring talisman, and said immediately. This little brat. The Soul Eater found that Xiao Yan had turned his eyes on him, and couldn't help but cursed secretly. 500 meters. Damn, such a powerful ghost. This ghost is actually eating away my holy flame power? Xiao Yan couldn't help saying. Don't worry about it, it's almost there. Hold on. And a very bright fiery voice was also born from the main body of Soul Eater. 700 meters. No way, the ghost is too strong. Hold on for me. 800 meters. If this goes on, the holy flame covering my body will be eaten up by the ghost energy, and we will all die here. Don't talk nonsense, speed up. I've seen that thing. I guarantee you're worth the money. 1,000 meters. No, it's the limit. Just when Xiao Yan felt that he had reached his limit, Xiao Yan's eyes were suddenly attracted by the scene in front of him. That is, soul fighting skills? Continuing from the previous episode 999. That is, soul fighting skills. Xiao Yan's shocked voice slowly echoed at the bottom of the Blood River pond. And through Xiao Yan's voice, what was reflected in front of both Xiao Yan and the Soul Eater talisman was an object on the bottom of the Blood River pond, which was about 5 meters in size. The riverbed lay quietly at the bottom, which seemed to be isolated by some mysterious power, and above it, two extremely dazzling things slowly stood. On the left side of the riverbed is a silver scroll wrapped in cyan light. On the scroll, a force that scared Xiao Yan's soul power is slowly entrenched. On the right is a bell about the size of a palm. Above the bell, the whole body is full of an unusual asterisk smell. Soul fighting skills? Blood River Bell? Two extremely shocked voices suddenly echoed at the bottom of the Blood River pool. Blood River Bell? The reason why Xiao Yan knew that there might be soul fighting skills in the cyan scroll was caused by the huge soul power, and at this time, he could not bear to hear such a shocking voice coming from the Soul Eater talisman. Stay open and speak. Shui He Ling, why does this sound a little familiar? Xiao Yan repeated several times silently, and then said softly, Ha ha ha, I didn't expect that there would be such a precious thing here. Little devil, it looks like we didn't come for nothing this time. A mysterious power came from the soul-devouring talisman and smiled at Xiao Yan. Senior, what are you? Xiao Yan couldn't help asking. Blood River Ling. This is the end of the 12 evil soldiers in the ghost world. The Soul Eater talisman did not hide anything from Xiao Yan, and said directly. What? This Blood River Bell is actually the last of the 12 evil soldiers in the ghost world? No wonder I always feel familiar, so it is. Xiao Yan suddenly said with relief. Obviously there is something about the 12 evil soldiers in the ghost world, which was explained to Xiao Yan by his uncle Jinlong King before, so Xiao Yan more or less some impressions. Hey, don't look at the Blood River Bell ranking at the bottom of the 12 evil soldiers in the ghost world, but in terms of combat ability, I am afraid that the 10th ranked Soul Eater may not be able to compare. Soul Eater said extremely excitedly. Shui He Ling, it is said to be a formation? Xiao Yan suddenly remembered something and said, Good. The Blood River Bell can cast the Blood River map, and this Blood River map is a real killer. I don't dare to say anything else, but with a 1-star Do Xian level Ghost Fairy, if you control the Blood River Bell, I am afraid you can easily wipe out Zhang Tianshan. Soul Eater said lightly, but the voice very excited in it. A ghost at the level of a 1-star fighting immortal can single-handedly challenge the entire Xuantian Santian? Xiao Yan couldn't help but wonder. Good. Blood River Bell can be said to have absorbed a lot of blood energy. Once it is released, it will be involved in it for thousands of miles. In addition to that mysterious power, I am afraid that only a 3-star fighting fairy can resolve it. But in the current Zhan Santian, there is no such level of powerhouse. Soul Eater said, It's really a good treasure. Xiao Yan couldn't help laughing. This Shui He Ling seemed to be a formation he cultivated, but even the formation was countless times stronger than himself today. He, although this blood bell is good, it's not suitable for you. Have you seen the scroll next to the Blood River Ling? Soul Eater said deliberately, as if trying to attract Xiao Yan's attention. I see. How could Xiao Yan not know the soul-devouring talisman's careful thoughts, and immediately said without exposing him. That thing, if I expected it to be good, it should be an extremely tyrannical soul-fighting skill. Now your soul power has skyrocketed, and you lack the means to attack your soul. It suits you very well. Soul Eater said with a smile. Then what? Xiao Yan also asked with a smile. Why don't you use the soul fighting skill and give me this Blood River Bell? Soul Eater said directly. Senior, you are also living in my body now. It's fine that I don't charge you rent. And it doesn't need to be so troublesome. I seem to be able to take the Blood River Bell and soul fighting skills into the bag. Xiao Yan said with a smile. Cough cough cough. As a human being, you can't be so greedy. You humans don't have a word to say. You are not greedy enough to swallow an elephant. Soul Eater hurriedly defended. Furthermore, the power of blood energy contained in this Blood River Bell is too strange. If you forcibly collect it, I'm afraid it will be bad if you accidentally end up with a dark disease. Soul Eater Talisman said. Then Senior, are you treating me as a 3-year-old child? Xiao Yan said with a frown. Relying on the huge power of the soul, Xiao Yan did find that the Blood River Bell was the same as the soul-devouring talisman. It is charged, but Xiao Yan is also a veteran, and he will definitely not be so cheap as the Soul Eater talisman. Little devil? What do you want? The Soul Eater had no choice and asked directly. It's very simple. Provide me for 3 years, and Xiao Yan will give up this blood bell. Xiao Yan said with a smile. You are treating me as a free thug. Do you think I'm a cat or a dog? I am the famous Soul Eater in the ghost world. I'll give you a bodyguard of a human stinky little brat, and I won't do it. Hearing this, Soul Eater said angrily and refused. Master of Soul Eater, it looks like he has a way. Xiao Yan muttered silently in his heart. I don't know what kind of Soul Eater you are in the ghost world, I only know that now you are just a remnant of my Soul Eater. And if I expected it well, if you hadn't absorbed the power of a lot of extraterrestrial evil races, I'm afraid you would still be in a deep sleep now, right? Xiao Yan said with a smile. When you are in crisis, I will rescue you once. This is the biggest concession I can make. Soul Eater murmured for a while, then said word by word. Deal. Xiao Yan agreed directly to the Soul Eater talisman. Originally, Xiao Yan just wanted to corrupt the Soul Eater talisman, but he never thought that the Soul Eater talisman would be so refreshing. It's really a brat who knows how to settle accounts. But it was agreed in advance that my identity as the Soul Eater of the ghost world, in the eyes of you humans, is an unforgivable wicked person. If I try to save you, I'm afraid you will be regarded by humans as a traitor in the human world. When the time comes, you will end up as a mouse that everyone crosses the street and shouts at. Soul Eater pondered for a while, then spoke slowly. No problem. Anyway, there are many villains with 2 legs in the human world. If that time comes, it's okay to go to the ghost world with you. Xiao Yan said with a smile. Good kid, you have the courage. Soul Eater said with a smile. Now that it's decided, then it's time to collect these 2 things. Blood River Bell. I spent a lot of effort in the beginning, but I didn't get you, but now I can get it without effort. Soul Eater said greedily. Genius remembers the address of this site in 1 second. Mobile version reading website. M.